Picture is a Japanese word for chit-chat and is the name of a presentation format created in Japan in 2003 by Astrid Klein and Mark Dytham, two architects looking for a way people could share their work quickly and simply in public. Since then, the idea has spread to over 700 cities around the world. At every Picture night, creative thinkers come together and share their ideas with only 20 images shown for 20 seconds each. Picture, a fast, fun format. Find a location. Join the conversation.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker hails from, when properly pronounced, it sounds like Long Island, in New York. Holds a bachelor's degree in fine arts and currently serves as the assistant director for student affairs at the LIJ School of Medicine of Hofstra University, North Shore. She is a small business owner, visual content weaver, and self-proclaimed introverted yoga wannabe podcast fangirl who hopes to change the world one pseudol at a time. Here to share a charge for all of us to pick up a marker and start speaking visually, please welcome to the stage, Sue Caulfield.
A long, long time ago, in a university far, far away, there was a junior student who was about to embark on a journey across the world. She was traveling to the country of Spain, and she was about to live for 1 month with a host family. There was just one problem. She spoke not a word of Spanish. Luckily for her, she lived with a mama who was really great at charades for the first couple of days, and after those couple of days, she figured out that she had a secret weapon at her disposal. She reached into her pocket and pulled out a marker. From that moment forward, she drew anything and everything, and her mama communicated happily ever after. For those of you who haven't figured out by now, that student was me in my junior year. Visual language is a part of our everyday life. It's a part of our history. It was a part of our childhood when we scribbled on paper relentlessly and without fear. And it can be a part of our lives now. However, this sentence stops us dead in our tracks. But I'm not can be a very powerful few words. But I'm not an artist can be really debilitating for any creative person out there. So, fear is one of those things that evolves over time. It's like a demon. It sticks around. It shows up when we don't want it to. And it really, really stops us dead in our tracks. I'm here to tell you that fear and action can live in tandem, and you can use visual language. You do not have to be the next Picasso. You do not have to be the next Monet. You don't even have to make the next essay Mona Lisa. All you have to do is pick up your pen or marker and draw a couple of simple shapes and engage. Some of those shapes are pretty simple. A couple of lines, a squiggle, a circle. Those are all part of the visual alphabet that make up visual language. I know all of you out there could do this because we did it when we were kids. Those shapes can turn into something different that can relay messages globally. So those two lines can turn into a light bulb that can mean an idea or a thought that you have. That squiggle can turn into a dollar sign that maybe you want to talk about finances or money. And that circle can be a happy face or a sad face and talk about expressive nature of things. These are simple things. And I want to talk about now, what are we missing out on if we're not using visual language? Well, just like this cheese up here, we're missing out on a lot. We talk a lot in our everyday lives to our students, to our staff members, like I'm talking to you right now, and we're missing out on folks who prefer to communicate visually. I like to think that engagement is a lot like that cheese. We all want a little more of it. And to kind of have that in our lives, it refreshes us, it turns on our brain, it allows us to think a little bit differently. Visual language also engages in a completely different manner. It's not just the pictures that you see on the screen, but it's actually taking action and allowing your audience to do something as well. 70% of the people you're talking to or you want to engage with, they prefer to communicate this way. And by having them involved in using visual language, you open up that engagement to more of your audience, to more of your staff members, and to more of your students. And who doesn't want to spread the cheese, love? One of my favorite parts about visual language is this. It gets folks out of their comfort zone. Now, this is a little tricky because it often is the reason why people don't want to use it, because it feels uncomfortable. You say, I don't really draw that much, Sue. I'm not really into it. Well, getting yourselves out of that comfort zone is a way to open up to new ideas, and we've heard a lot about that at this conference. So I'm encouraging you to start small. That's the way to begin it. Start small with your audiences, and just your next meeting or your next student group that you're in, just throw a bunch of markers out on the table and some blank pieces of paper and say, hey, I want you to draw it out. I want you to take notes in the way that you're comfortable with. I want you to write down ideas in the way that you're comfortable with. Maybe make it a little colorful, include some, lines and arrows in there. Don't go crazy. It can be simple, but I want you to engage in it and empower your team members to do so. If you're really feeling crazy, you could do something like this. And this is one of my favorite tools because it's a lot about what we do. A mind map is mostly built of words, but you can see the connections between those words with visual components. So it's a simple way to incorporate it into what we do every day. Again, if you're feeling even crazier, this is a tool that I've used with our career services department. So that gentleman up there is Waldo. He's a third-year biology student, and he entered the career services office, and we talked about what he was doing, what he was hearing, what he was seeing, and what he was thinking when he interacted with them. It's a tool that can be really useful in our everyday lives with our students. Visual language is about this blank piece of paper and these couple of markers. It's about not letting that fear get to you when you want to communicate in this way, and it's about understanding that many people prefer this way. Building a culture is a lot like building a home, and visual language is the door to that home. Lucky for us, it's the door that can translate across many cultures, and we have the power to kind of use this tool to do so. So I'm challenging you today to open that door and to pick up the marker, put the fear aside, encourage others around you to do the same, and let's speak visually. Thank you.